Ever tried reading while jogging, cooking, or even juggling flaming torches? Yeah, it doesn't end well. But with audiobooks.com, you can conquer books without the circus act. Dive into over 450,000 titles, including more than 10,000 free ones. Get hooked on a bestseller, find your next obsession, or finally read that classic you've been avoiding since high school. And here's the inside scoop. Sign up today for a free 30-day trial and snag your first 3 audiobooks on the house. Sign up for your free trial at audiobooks.com/podcastfree today. That's audiobooks.com/podcastfree.
And now, Hangar 56 Media presents Spike's Car Radio, a downloadable cars and coffee, hosted by writer, comedian, and automotive enthusiast Spike Ferriston. Now, here's Spike.
It's Bolivar that I'm smoking. What do you have?
Tatuaje Mexican Experiment 2.
I put these microphones on the carpet, and now they have dog fur on them, so you might want to take those off. Hi, everybody. That's us chatting here on a Saturday night in the beautiful Baldwin Hills estate of Herr Zuckerman.
I'm usually covered in dog hair anyways.
He's in a nasty mood, so you're going to like that.
Mood. He's in a good mood.
Yelling at me for standing up.
Triple trafe.
While I'm eating. We will try to be respectful of you and not talk over each other.
Yeah, and you'll try not to get cigar ash on my white upholstery.
No, we're going to ash on your white upholstery. I hate to break it to you.
I can't say that I will. I'm going to try not to. We'll use that bowl right there. How are you guys, more importantly, on this Wednesday? Everybody doing good?
I'm okay.
Not you.
Oh,
I was talking to the listeners for a second. This is their moment.
Sorry, I was looking at him texting.
Do you see this chair?
Confused.
Do you see this chair over here? We leave an empty chair for the listeners, and that chair's for you. We're in your ears today. We're in your cars. We're in your workspace. We're having a good time. Got a good show for you tonight. Jonny Lieberman's sitting here again, really becoming part of the little group here.
It's fun. I enjoy it.
Are you enjoying that?
Plus,
are you part of any other podcast?
Not part of. I do Farrah's. I used to do Farrah's a lot. We haven't done one in a while.
We all do Farrah's.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you don't have your own podcast.
Everyone tells me to get my own podcast. I don't
make this your own podcast.
All right, fine. I'm in. Twist my arm.
This is your podcast now.
Done.
Zuckerman, you're filming something. What is that?
I'm taking a picture of the view to post it. This is us doing a podcast. And
but you're aiming the camera out.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
it's our view. It's our view. This is the view of the guy that's in that empty chair.
I think while we are 3 fairly funny gentlemen, no one really wants to look at our faces, so that's probably a much better picture.
No.
Yes.
Well, let's start. I put out a little thing you guys probably saw on Instagram for listener questions. We can go to those. But I thought, kind of Bill Maher style, I just throw out some things to talk about, some car news, and we could take it apart. And the first one is this guy, is it Benjamin Chen? Is that his name?
Do you know about this one, Paul?
No, I do not.
I'm going to set it up for you, and then we'll discuss it.
This is good.
Benjamin Chen, not too long ago, was in New York City in a Porsche Carrera GT, Jambala Mirage GT, something or other.
Yeah.
At 7:30 in the morning, was it?
Very early.
Blasting down an empty street, crashed into cars, kept going, crashed again. The police stopped him. He kept trying to go and kept trying to leave. Well, this week, charges against car culture personality Benjamin Chen in connection with a chain of collisions. You got to check this video out. It's awesome. Charges were dismissed last Monday. The New York Criminal Court released a statement saying the charges of reckless driving and operating under the influence had to be dropped because they cannot be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. Have you seen the video?
Yeah, I was going to say, I want to add in, there's fucking video of it. It's not that like it was alleged. There's video of this happening.
This is what he did. So video of the incident, if you haven't seen it, shows Chen losing control at a high speed on the Arrow Straight 11th Avenue in New York City before slamming into a stationary minivan. After that, and he really messes that car up, he continues driving, hitting several other parked cars before finally coming to a stop and being detained by NYPD. Zuckerman, I say to you, how did this guy get off?
What he said was, and I will venture, he said the car malfunctioned and it got out of control, that there was something wrong with the car, and that's what happened. That's what he had to say. And somehow he had the right lawyer, the right mouthpiece, and he must not have shown any signs of intoxication or other impairment.
He showed massive signs of impairment, though.
I agree with you.
Reportedly,
100%.
there were a lot of people who said that there were.
witnesses.
So how do you get off on that charge now?
Well,
under
can I add-
under the influence. It's 7:30 in the morning, right? This is an awful lot like our friend Tiger Woods too, and we'll get to that. But presumably, my opinion would be this man would have been up all night having fun.
Oh, I agree with you.
And decides to take a spin.
Can I add that I just pled no contest to that ticket I got going to meet you last April in Santa Monica? I finally just said no contest.
But here, what I read was reckless driving. You have to prove that it was reckless, and the fact that it was the pandemic and the road was empty, no other cars and no other people. Therefore, you cannot charge reckless driving because it wasn't reckless. Zuckerman.
That's just bullshit.
That's bullshit. It was totally reckless.
bullshit.
So what happened? This guy.
I'm telling you that somehow there was something in the way that he didn't blow. He refused to test. There was some minor technicality, or the police officers didn't do something properly. So despite all of the video, he got off, or he has so much money the fix was in. But what cop? Well, no one's corrupt anymore, are they, Ferris? And there's no corruption in the police departments.
The police department is saying that would be impossible to be corrupt, to have money and to pay this fine off. I agree with you, Zuckerman. I don't think it's impossible at all. I think it's quite possible because none of this adds up. None of this adds up.
I just think it goes from an accident to reckless after you hit a minivan. Then you hit 5 other cars. You could lose it. Look, we've all lost it. You lose it a little bit. You hit a car. I've never done that, but it could happen. But then to keep your foot on the accelerator and keep smashing into cars.
Isn't that called leaving the scene of an accident?
Yeah.
You're driving away. It's not like it was a little
and by
dent.
the way, if the tire didn't fall off the front of the car, he would have kept going. It's just that the front of the car couldn't go.
This was a major accident that he tried to drive away from.
Yeah.
That's, to me, is illegal. Zuckerman, what? You're smiling.
Sometimes.
Were you in the car?
Sometimes.
Were you the lawyer?
Sometimes someone has the right set of circumstances and a clever lawyer, and then you're out.
Look at him smiling. Look at lawyers.
I've never seen him look this happy.
Yeah, are you happy for this guy?
I'm sure he's fucked in 10 other ways that we don't know about. He got away with the ticket, but there's other shit going on in his life that's not great. I can guarantee that.
Yeah.
You just don't dust yourself off after wrecking your $750,000 car at 7:30 in the morning and go on with your life. There's other issues, Ferris.
Yeah, obviously. He's modifying Carrera GTs. Who would do that?
Yeah.
It's perfect as it is. Jambala, what? Come on.
One way or another, this guy's life is fucked up.
I mean, yeah.
Mr. Chan, tell me what was happening at 5:45. Something. What I really want to know is what were the 3 or 4 hours like before the crash? That's the interesting.
I'm not going to tell you about my day, officer.
I would like to talk to the judge though, because there has to be an adult in the room who sits there.
No. It's not the judge. It's a district attorney. There is the district attorney chooses not to take up.
No.
the charges.
I understand that.
That's right.
So
he never gets into a courtroom.
No, he doesn't.
I see what you're
That's
saying.
where
All right.
that's where the fix is in.
Right.
You know, imagine his defense attorney with the district attorney, whoever is looking at that. They went to law school together. They started off their careers together. You know, there's a lot that has to do.
Did
with
they share women,
personal-
Zuckerman?
Oh, quite possibly.
Campaign contribution coming
What
in.
else did these two do
Mr.
together?
Chen is now a big booster of
let me tell you something. There's no overt corruption, but it does pay for your lawyer to know who the other lawyers are, to have that history together.
Right.
A lot of criminal defense attorneys came out of the district attorney's office.
Oh, sure.
They know everybody knows everybody.
Don't you bet they were a little surprised that the automotive press picked this up all over the place? I bet they were. Right? Don't you suppose they're just going, people have forgotten about this. No one's going to write about it.
But they don't understand Carrera GT.
Carrera GT, right.
It was. I mean, the whole difference between this and anything else, it was not a Mercedes S-Class.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
some rich, finance guy. This is the Carrera GT crashing is big news.
That's right.
It is
If
very
it would
big
have been
news.
like his Escalade, we wouldn't have even known about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good point.
There you go. All right. Well, there you have that. Here's another headline that grabbed me. Nearly 24 crashes involving Tesla cars under investigation. The NHTSA said Thursday 23 investigations involving Tesla's crashes are active. And I bring this up because I have just ordered a Tesla Model Y.
Nice.
With autopilot.
Oh, why?
Should I not give that to my wife, Jonny Lieberman?
Well, just explain to her that you use it on the freeway.
To her.
Yeah, use it on the freeway.
Yes.
And, still keep your eyes on the road. It doesn't, just because it's called autopilot,
yes.
It's just a name. It's smart cruise control is all it is.
There's a video going around YouTube. Have you seen these two kids driving around San Francisco and watching it malfunction left and right?
But again, it's just smart cruise control. If you're on a freeway where there's no one coming the other direction, it's okay.
People want to believe, though. People are not you, Lieberman. People want to believe that this is an autopilot car. Yeah. They want to believe that it's termed as an smart car autopilot. And I have a lot of my guys in my profession, my competition, my colleagues, and they say, we're going to go out of business. These Teslas are going to put us out of business. And I just smile and I shake my head. No.
They're going to make us money.
No, this is just buckets, oceans of money. We've got Elon Musk with oceans like Croesus. He's got more money than God, and we're going to take some of it. This is terrific. The more of these things out there, the more money there is for us.
Like who?
Guys.
Zuckerman?
Croesus. Yes, he was the
biggest mark for personal injury attorneys, isn't he?
Yes.
He's got all the money. Yes. He and Bezos. Do you sit around with other attorneys going, how do we take all their money? How do you get Bezos?
When these guys say, they're going to take driving away from people, it's people that are fallible. Well, remember, it's people that made these cars fools, all right? And whenever we turn over to technology, when we defer to technology, there's going to be a lot of problems.
Right.
Whether it's space shuttles blowing up, these Boeings. Look what goes into making a Boeing and putting it in the sky. And they can put an unsafe plane out there for passengers. Technology is not the solution because people make it. Maybe one day in the future, there's a world of perfection where we're protected by technology. But no, it's just one other thing that can fuck up. And there's lots of money. Lots of it. Lots of it.
You see how this works, Johnny? I understand this business so well right now.
I got to stop giving all these rational answers.
And it's the old cliche, follow the money. You follow the money to the person, and then that's the person you sue.
Yes.
Is Boeing getting sued? They are, right?
Yes, for the 737s are dropping, 737s clunk out of the sky.
Filled.
All the best, all the king's horses and all the king's men. It's just like Humpty Dumpty, right? Nothing's really changed except it's not a carriage with a guy made out of an egg. It's an airplane falling from the sky. Because arrogance, venality, corruption, you name it, you would think Boeing and the FAA, that this shit couldn't happen at this point.
Yeah, they had a pretty good name, didn't they?
After all these years.
The stock is back up.
Sure, it's cool. You know why? Because memory is short.
It is. Well, also...
Because what?
Memory is short. People don't remember.
Well, it's also up because they finally have more orders than cancellations. But, yes, it's... I mean, think about all the millions of people that have been killed in GMs and Fords and Chryslers over the years. People forget. Yeah.
I get on the plane, I don't think that's for other people. They're going to die, not me.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
When you get on the plane, that's what people think.
Yeah. Well, it's true.
I was just on a plane, Ferris, and it was a horrific experience. Horrific.
This is the
Yes,
Texas...
you were.
Yes.
Zuckerman is integrating himself back into normal life.
Yeah.
He's feeling okay about things.
No, I have business to conduct. And I actually took a small plane to Texas. We had a great tailwind. We flew there. We were like thrown across the country. We got there in this little King Air in 3 hours. But then it turned out that it would take 6 hours to get back. And I wasn't down with that. So, we were Dallas. And Dallas. I said, no, we're not doing that. We are not doing that.
So you get on a commercial flight.
And we couldn't get business at first or whatever it is. We had coach. And
so you sat with the rubes?
That's pleasant.
I sat with the rubes. I sat with a steerage class. I sat in steerage.
I bet you're quite comfortable there, actually.
I fit in.
You fit in.
I fit in.
Yes, of course.
And then...
And you've got a friend with you. That's the perfect time.
Steve Glass, my business partner, was with me. And
it all becomes fun and games at that point. I love doing that.
He hasn't been inoculated. I have. So
shit.
it's more fun for me and less fun for him. For him, it's a game.
What did he do? Did he mask himself up?
He was masked up. Listen. When it comes down to it, 3 hours or his life. In other words, that extra 3 hours on the little plane, he was willing to gamble with his life. And so we get on the plane. And on American, unlike some of the other carriers,
don't fly American.
They filled up every seat.
Yeah,
really.
I'm in the middle.
Oh,
I'm in the middle. I got glass. I'm giving
that's
him
like double coach,
right? And he's tall, and he was willing to take the middle, but I said no. I've got the shot. You take the aisle seat. And then there's this lady next to me, and the minute I sit down, you know what she says to me? She like 40s, like a cat lady. You know what she says to me, Lieberman? You know what she says?
I can only guess.
She looks at me and she goes, "Excuse me, should I go to the bathroom now or later?" And I said, "Look at her, lady. Your toileting needs are none of my business. It's not my business, lady. I trust you at your age. Know when
you will
should
assume no responsibility." Do you see? That's a perfect lawyer response.
Why am I going to get
This
into
is not
her?
my responsibility when you go or do not go.
I figure you
None
know
of
when
us
to
would
go.
have thought of saying that to her.
What would you have said?
Go now. Just go. Get it over with.
I mean, really, if
But
come
you were
on.
being polite, right?
I just don't want anything to do
Yeah,
with when
I
she
would've-
goes number
I
one
would've
and number two.
pretended-
It's not my business.
I would
don't know you.
if I didn't hear. I don't speak
Why not,
English.
Zuckerman? Why not wait to 2 hours and 20 minutes into the flight and then go now?
Yeah, I should have said to her, "We're going to play a game.
I'll tell you when.
Like when my fuel gauge is almost empty, I want to know if we can go further. I want to see if you can make it
Do you
all the
need
way
to
there.
go?
And then we're going to exchange phone numbers, and I'm not going to let you go until sometime the next
You know, this
day.
is how the Nvidium cult started. That's what they told the girls when to eat, when they could go to the bathroom.
Right.
You could have had your first cult member.
Yeah, I didn't want anything to do with her. And so then, and what was great is because I didn't want to talk to her, and I figured she was put out that I didn't want to tell her when to go to the bathroom. She said to me, "I was just trying to be nice." Again, nice? What does that have to do with me? She says, "Well, I don't know this." She says, "But I'll have to ask you to move." Yes, ask me to move. If you need to urinate or defecate, just ask me to
you
move.
would have had to get up. There was a purpose to her asking you. You left the. I thought she was on the aisle.
No, she's at the window.
Oh,
but
yes,
still.
then say go now. That's
Listen,
easy. Just say go now.
People were still boarding the plane. I'm not
Think
getting.
about
I'm not helping her decide when the right time for her to go to the bathroom.
Can I go to the bathroom right now?
Economy of
Zuckerman?
syllables.
Just go with your pants.
Go now
Okay,
is
but
the
then-
shortest thing you could say.
Lieberman.
Go now.
Lieberman. Halfway through the flight, she's got to throw over her lap. Now, we're so close that practically my left eyeball's on her right cheek. And she's got a throw on her lap. And I start to see her arm that's not under the throw moving up and down, up and down.
God, Zuckerman.
Up and down. And her hand is in the middle of her lap. And I can see it, and I'm thinking, what the fuck is this lady doing?
So wait,
What
she's
is she
masturbating
doing?
now next to
Okay,
you?
let me tell you something. Then wait a second.
Or cathetering?
I don't know what she's doing, except then I see a hand come up.
Oh, Zuckerman,
and
come on.
I'm telling you, she did the feint. She like to scratch her face and then 2 fingers under her nose.
Oh, Jesus,
She
Zuckerman.
did it 3
This is a car
different-
podcast.
She did it 3.
What are you doing right
I'm
now?
telling you what the fuck happened on my flight.
Why?
Yeah.
Why am I telling you this?
It's Mike's car radio.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I thought you'd want to know.
Does it go anywhere after that?
Okay, her hand went back down, and then more of
God.
that business. There I saw nostril flare, and it wasn't like she gave a chef's kiss after the whiff.
Oh.
It was so.
This is horrible.
awful. This is called.
I'm going to need to take a shower.
Well, A,
After
this is
this.
why never fly coach. Just don't do it. And then B, what?
But you know what this really marks? This is just the beginning of life starting up again.
Yes.
For the last year, we have been spared all of this stupidity. And, you know, I didn't have that happen to me, Zuckerman, but I told you I was in the supermarket, and the old ladies are back on top of me. bumping into me in the car. Out of the way, move that. and I told Zuckerman when I had my mask on, I did my best Zuckerman voice, and I said, I'm going to fucking kill you, lady. But I kept my eyes looking away from her, so she was looking. Is he saying that to me? Yeah, that's right.
I go shopping a lot. No one's ever talked to me. I'm a million miler on Delta. I've never had a conversation with anybody. Not even. I just sit there. You just don't.
You're not paying attention. This is happening all around you.
No one talks to me. Everyone leaves me alone. I love being on planes.
Lucky Lieberman.
I love being on planes.
Then you're we're going to start calling him Lucky Lieberman. Lucky Lieberman.
Think about it. You're flying,
Lucky
you're flying
Lieberman.
to Germany, right? And you have no phone. 11 hours, total silence. It's the greatest thing.
I guess the difference is between Dallas. If people boarding a short flight from Dallas, you may be getting these kind of people. The people who are flying from L.A. to Germany may be different.
They know how to fly. I got it.
Well, yeah. By the way, the Germans are great. I've flown on German
Europeans know
airlines
how to
before.
fly.
They're not Americans. They're not drinking giant sodas and eating out of bags and smelly. They don't go to the bathroom. They sit quietly.
Manners.
They have manners.
They have manners.
Great.
Yeah,
it's great.
You'd never, I never fly American flights overseas. American planes. I don't want to fly with Americans. They're terrible.
But again, who's talking to you in a grocery store?
It's not, no. I'm sitting looking at the lettuce because my wife has given me an impossible list of things.
Okay, yeah.
Organic pine nuts. It's a scavenger hunt. I'm on a fucking scavenger hunt, and the clock is ticking until I get COVID from one of these weirdos near me. And somebody hits my cart. Literally, if I'm facing one way, she just bashes it in. She goes, "Excuse me," hits it, and I look, and it's this diminutive old lady with a Prada purse. And I want to go, what the fuck, lady? But I don't because it's an old lady. But
this is like a Gelson's, or
this is West. Okay,
this is in Brentwood. So I get out of the way the first time. She does it again by the salami. This hard salami-faced woman.
This is the worst Penthouse Forum podcast of all time.
So, look how I'm standing, and I've got my cart. You just crash, and I'm out of the aisle. She goes right up to it like that.
She's one of our people.
A second time.
Lieberman, it's aggressive older Jewish ladies on the west side.
And that's where
I shop in La Canyada, so I can't even relate.
I looked away and I gave her my best Zuckerman. I'm going to rip your head off, lady. Just loud enough for her to hear, but eyes looking the other way. Again, I loved the mask. And then I called you up and I said, I wish I had you with me. Because I know how old women really upset you, especially old women like this. It says something about you psychologically. What did you say? Here's what you should have said to her. Why are you bothering shopping? You're going to be dead in 2 days.
Save the money.
Save your money.
Save your money. Go straight to the funeral parlor and check in.
That's a better line. That was a better line than what I had. And security's watching me now because I'm threatening old ladies into Vincente Foods. But I'm kind of not looking. I don't want the pandemic to end. I like the mask. There were some real advantages to that mask, and again, people were more polite. And now people are encroaching on my space all of a sudden again. I don't like it. Let's talk about cars.
Yeah.
Because I don't know anything about this story, but I thought you might, Johnny. Bugatti appears to be positioning itself under Porsche. Porsche is taking control of Bugatti, according to Car and Driver. Have you heard this? What do you know about that? Because that gets me really excited, especially having driven those cars recently.
Yeah, I mean, look, the pure sport, as we talked about, is just as good as cars get. So there was a rumor that Bugatti was going to get sold to Rimac, the Croatian electric supercar company.
Right.
I think that stopped because I don't know if Rimac's still in business. And then, I mean, this is what Volkswagen Group does. Like Lamborghini is under Audi, so they're going to put Bugatti under Porsche, which makes sense because who has the greatest motorsports team going? Blah blah. It's Porsche. So I've heard stuff like that. I don't know exactly what it means. I know that new transmission.
Do you think the Bugatti brand is going to disappear and become Porsche?
No. No, if anything, like if you think about Bugatti, right, they've had one model for 15 years now, right? They had Veyron for 8 years, and now they've had Chiron. It'll be 8 years by the time it's all said and done. So, it's hard to survive as a one-model brand, so that means they'll probably do like 2 levels of Bugatti. We know they're going to keep the 16-cylinder going as long as possible. That gearbox in the Pure Sport, They spent, $100 million essentially making a gearbox for 40 cars. So that gearbox is going to show up in whatever replaces the Chiron. And there'll probably be some platform sharing, like if Porsche does that electric supercar they're rumored to be doing, maybe there'll be a Bugatti version of it. Maybe that's where Rimac comes in. I don't know.
Yeah, that was part of the article too. Was the two brands might team up possibly for this Rimac Hyper EV? But now, what is the Porsche electric car rumor? Because I have not heard that.
I've just heard that they're going to do like
something beyond the Taycan.
Yeah, like a 918, but it'll be pure electric, and it'll be the Porsche pure electric, $1 million hypercar type thing. So, yeah,
wow,
don't know, but that's coming soon, right? I mean, it's been a decade almost since or more than the 918.
We're right on it.
Yeah, so there's something kooky coming really soon. And it makes sense, I think, for Bugatti to have more than one product.
Right.
They could do an SUV. That's a great way to print money. They've been wanting to do a sedan forever. They had that Galibier thing, which didn't happen, but it almost happened. So I think you'll see a second model line from Bugatti is what that story's about.
Wow, and something cheaper maybe?
Well, I mean, cheaper, relatively cheaper, so. But
something not $5 million?
They're going to be 7-figure cars. It does say Bugatti on it, so.
Lamborghini killed it with their Urus.
Yeah, Urus is like 60% of all sales.
Best year they've ever had, most amount of money they've ever made.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, look, people love SUVs, and it doesn't, and the thing is, like, look at Porsche. Like, the Cayenne has not in any way hurt 911. It's made it better, so.
Yeah, that debate from what? Go back to
100 years.
Yeah, it feels like 100 years ago.
But people are still having it.
They were really saying that.
Oh, my God, this is the end of Porsche as we know it. The 911's blah, blah, just how can they make an SUV? It's brand sacrilege, blah, blah. Best thing they ever did. And then the Macan was even better because that's just printing cash, often like old, out of, 2 decades out of design Audi chassis. That's what the Macan is. It's not even like every other Volkswagen Group vehicle is basically this chassis called MLB Evo. So like the Urus down to the Audi A4, same chassis, except for the Macan is this old Audi chassis, which is just different.
Right.
It's a Hungarian factory or something like that. Super cheap to make. So yeah. So
we love our SUVs. Do you even drive SUVs, Zuckerman?
No.
You don't go near them, right?
Every so often, in the family. Andrea, she has a Range Rover, so I'll drive that. Not liking it all that much anymore. I've been in so many Range Rovers over the years, but my daughter Kate just got an X3 BMW,
yeah, parked next to
and
it,
I have to tell you, I was so surprised how good that particular BMW product was.
Yeah,
it's nice to have low expectations. But I got in it, and at the ease of driving it, it was so comfortable. It was so easy to drive. It was.
That's what sticks of dynamite going off out here.
It's a great little car.
Great little
Did you end up calling your BMW friend because he didn't respond to me?
I did, but we've been playing phone tag. I literally have.
I'm excited to drive those cars. I think I'm about to go through a cycle of liking BMWs.
Yeah,
I can feel it coming on. It's been coming on for years. I've been driving the history in Zuckerman's collection and getting it. And the track at Thermal Club, I was in the M4 driving around the track, and I really liked it. And
it's kind of in vogue right now to like diss on BMW, but if you look at their actual products, X3 is actually very nice. The X5 I think is even better. I love the X6. I know it doesn't make any sense, but I love that thing. And then like. The 3 Series is fine. The 5 Series is not so fine. But, like, the 8 Series, the Grand Coupe is great. The M2 is really good. That M2 CS is the best car on sale right now. So they do a lot of good stuff. They have some design issues at the moment, especially those new electric things that are coming, that electric iX SUV. I think it's beautifully named.
Yeah.
It's like the Ix. And not after Jackie. It's just Ix.
I don't understand.
Yeah,
how is it that none of these big manufacturers are getting the charge right on the batteries? That we want a car that's over 300
miles.
Volkswagen
will.
I heard the ID. Did not. It was
not
coming
the
in
ID's
under.
not there. Yeah,
it's not there yet.
But look, the Ford is really.
But you know what I'm
close to
saying?
that.
Like now, here I am, the customer, and have spent the last 3 weeks trying to find Erica her deal. And you probably know I'm not the biggest fan of Tesla, but there was no other choice. Like all roads pointed to the Model Y over and over and over again.
Great car,
right?
Or great SUV. Yeah, I mean, look, the one that's going to really challenge that is Lucid, which is coming really soon. I think
They're set up here in the mall at Century City Mall.
Yeah,
there.
I think April will start driving them.
What's the price point on those? 80?
There will be eventually one around there. They're going to launch with the big, 1100 horsepower dual motors. It'll be like 160.
But don't you worry about a new manufacturer just launching that suddenly they're going to Fisker disappear?
No,
even though now Fisker's coming back.
Yes, Fisker's coming back, but I don't worry about Lucid.
Why?
So Peter Rawlinson, I believe his name is, who was the chief engineer on the Model S, the original Tesla car. And he's the CEO of the company, so he really knows what he's doing. They brought a lot of the original Tesla people over.
Okay.
And they're incredibly well funded. They're funded by the Saudis. Like, literally, Saudi Arabia is funding them. So
that won't go wrong.
OPEC money.
Sure.
So they're
killing American journalists.
And their technology is awesome. They really have good technology.
Yep.
So I don't worry about them. There's a lot I do worry about.
And so where do you buy a Lucid? The same way you buy a Tesla?
Yeah, where did you see it? You
at the mall.
At the mall. You go to the mall.
Yeah.
Or lucid.com.
I hate the name.
Lucid?
I'm lucid.
I don't want to be lucid. I feel like I'm medicated to be lucid. It's just a dumb.
I mean, so's Tesla, but
I agree with you.
Have you ever bought a Tesla, Zuckerman?
No. Why would I?
I'm on the site. I lit up my cigar and I put down my deposit, and then before long, I've got to put down all this other information. I thought I was just going to be able to put my money down on my car, and then a guy like Graham calls me on Saturday. Hey, when are you going to finish your transaction? I'm like, well, Graham, not today. It's fucking Saturday. Maybe Monday when I talk to my business manager. Anyway, I end up going back to the site and filling out more information. None of the numbers were the same as the initial number that had me pressing and putting the deposit down. The lease, the purchase, all of it changed. And there's a little slide, and I'm like, and I haven't even gotten to that part yet. But that little move, that little shenanigan move, that bait and switch, I did not appreciate. What is that?
A dealer would do the same
You're nodding
thing.
like you have knowledge of this.
No, I didn't. The dealer would do the same thing.
What is that?
Buying cars sucks. Like, actually, I had a great experience.
Tesla was beyond that. I thought we're going to sell these things like iPhones. They are what they are.
Like the price changes every day on those. For some reason in America, it's rare you have a good experience buying a car. I just had a great experience. The Alfa Romeo dealership in Glendale. I was in and out in under 25 minutes. 0 down. It was fantastic.
This is
and then they closed up shop.
Yeah, they closed up shop. And so what? It was great.
The car doesn't work, but it's fine.
The finance guy didn't even try to do an extended warranty. It
wasn't his
wonderful.
car.
Didn't even try. Looked at me and was like, nah. It was great.
So here's what. So I had a nice chat with the Tesla guy, and I didn't mind the interaction, and I was in the mood to have a car chat. And he said, "Well, look, I know on the site it says the car will be ready in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. When's the lease up?" I go, "Next month." He goes, "All right, here's how it works with Tesla. We can make your car this week, or we can make it at the end of June, but we can't hit this date in the middle of May or anything near it because those cars go to China." I said, So
that's probably true. Yeah.
You want to just trade your lease in with us? You want me to trade my BMW in with you? And, now I'm just having fun. I'm like, what do you need? VIN number? Sure. Here, take all my information. And he goes, I'm going to call you Tuesday. I go, please call me.
He's going to do it.
He doesn't know that I'm doing this and talking about it.
He's going to wholesale out your
Graham.
BMW, which is great because if you're over miles or you've got any scuffs, scrapes,
that's fine.
Bad dings, then you won't have that issue.
You think my wife has dinged up her BMW in
Never.
3 years?
Never.
That thing is perfection, buddy. Perfection.
In her eyes, it's perfection. Through her eyes, it is.
I'll show you where the nurse's shoe polish is over the white paint. All the black marks I had to take out, and every wheel has been destroyed.
The wheel. I had to put $4,500 into the Audi before that went back.
Yeah.
That's why you don't go to the end of the lease.
No, you're right. You're right.
You never go to the end.
You're right.
But what do you think? Do you think this Tesla?
My wife, to be fair, damaged the Audi within the first 3 months. I just didn't deal with it.
What took her so long? So I think that what's going to happen is they'll take you out of your car, and the promised car will not come as soon as they promise.
I have to say, I enjoyed the guy. He was a young, cool guy. I made him laugh a few times. It wasn't like a normal car experience, and I really want this to work. But I get the feeling they're going to fuck it up any minute.
They'll fuck it up. People are involved. Money's involved.
Right.
It'll be fucked up.
Yeah,
They
and my
want
wife
your
had
money.
some issues with Elon Musk as well, and
why?
stuff he says and does. And I said, well, why don't you point me to the manufacturer that hasn't said things or killed
Well, I was
people?
gonna say,
Because
yeah,
you're
like-
not gonna you're gonna be in a rickshaw.
People like obsess and focus on Musk, rightly or wrongly. But like again, look at the history
Look at
of
Henry
say,
Ford.
Fucking
Yeah.
Henry Ford. I mean, I was talking about that, like the
Porsche.
history of General.
Yeah.
Porsche. That
They're
look,
Porsche.
like I always tell people, like Porsche.
Seals.
Porsche
Stop
again. You say, well, Porsche was a Nazi.
Don't
People go, no,
go
he
there.
had to be. His Nazi party
He had to
number
be.
was like 4,000 something, which means that you were
Early Nazi.
It means you're a Trump supporter in like 2012 is
Yes.
what that means. Yeah.
We've seen his
So-
wedding photos, so we know a little bit more than you do, Johnny.
So, yeah,
you
yeah.
would not approve.
No. I'm just saying, like it's all pretty bad. It's all
It's all bad, right? You can't
yeah.
win. You can't win with any of this
Alfa
stuff.
Romeo is the way to win.
Oh, come
But they didn't
on.
do anything with the serpent eating the baby on the emblem.
That's just the purchase price, and that's depreciation. They illustrate it for you.
Take my baby.
I don't know if you guys saw TMZ this morning, but once again, Spike Ferriston has been proven right with his harebrained, internet-gleaned theories. The crash investigation unearthed troubling evidence because law enforcement sources tell us they believe Tiger never hit the brakes as he careened off the road, and there's no evidence he took his foot off the gas either.
Meaning,
Well, you knew my original opinion.
we had two opinions. One, he was dead asleep,
My opinion was this guy was asleep at the wheel.
and we had my friend
Now you-
Steve,
Yes.
Steve M, who said he went to kill himself.
That he did it intentionally.
Yes.
Nah, he had a seatbelt
Which you're
on.
right.
He had a seatbelt on. You don't try to kill yourself with your seatbelt on.
That's
You're
a
not
good point.
thinking right when you go to kill yourself. Oh, you.
But Zuckerman, let's back up,
He
all
hurt
right?
his leg. I mean, come on.
Again, not that you are a lawyer that's a defense lawyer, but your personal injury, but you have a knowledge of the law.
He fell asleep.
Right. Let's go back. I'm more interested in, hey, Tiger Woods, let's just throw out the theory that he's wasted like he was in Florida when he crashed. He takes an Ambien. He doesn't know he's awake. He falls asleep. He's supposed to be somewhere. He goes off the road. The first guy apparently who meets him there said he was asleep. Then the sheriff said he was awake and he was fine and there were no signs of intoxication except for the crash. No
Well,
signs of
hang on,
any
hang on.
intoxication
I forget
except for the crash.
I forget the name of the road, but people.
Oh, no, I'm not done, Johnny.
People crash there constantly. That's a well-known.
Oh, sure.
crash site.
But they put their brakes on.
Professional golfers, do they crash constantly?
yes.
Have you crashed there constantly?
I don't crash. but
What are you
people
talking?
crash.
Have you been on that road?
Yes, I have. Yeah,
it's just a slow road.
No. There's a zillion crashes there. I mean,
Right.
It's
so
well known.
so he's crashing and decides not to hit his brakes.
No, I don't know. Well, how do they know he didn't hit his brakes?
The
There's
black
no
box
skid
in the
marks.
car.
There's no
And then
black
no,
box
no,
in
no,
a
no.
Genesis.
Yeah, there
What black
absolutely
box?
is a
There's no
black
black
box
box.
in a Genesis. That's what they're getting this information off of.
No, they're gonna say there'd be like if he hit his brakes, there'd be like skid marks or something.
Oh no, sir. No.
There's
You're
a
wrong.
black
There
box
was
in
a
a
court
Genesis?
order. The sheriff's department had to get that as part of their investigation. Black box, they call it, information
EDR.
from the car, and
Yeah, he should
It
crash
showed-
harder and destroy that box.
it showed no. He didn't hit the brakes. His
Maybe
foot was
his
on the
foot-
accelerator the whole time.
hey.
Super glue. Why are you making excuses
Bad
for
knee.
Tiger Woods?
I don't care either way. People
But let
crash.
me ask
all
you
the
a
That's-
question.
I never get to my question before you interrupted. Zuckerman, this question is for you. What's going on with the sheriff's department in that situation? Are they covering for him, in your opinion?
Hard for me to say. Certainly, when your leg is shattered and bones are sticking out of the skin, it's hard to show obvious signs of intoxication. An obvious sign of intoxication is you smell like booze and you've got open bottles all over the place. But barring that, if he was not boozed up, would it be easy to tell if he was coked up, pilled up, something like that? It wouldn't be easy to tell. And then when you have that kind of a medical emergency, they're going to take you to the hospital, and the hospital will draw your blood, but they're not doing it for evidentiary reasons. They're doing it for medical reasons. So whatever the hospital gets is not going to hold up in court. It's going to tell the doctors if there's an issue that they have to be alerted to, but it's not for court purposes. So
he gets off.
He gets off. But is he really getting off? He has bones sticking out of his fucking skin.
Life. But the other thing is, like, people crash all the fucking time. You know how many car accidents there are? Like, it's constant. You know, and also, by the way, when people lose control of cars,
that morning, so many people crashed. In addition to Tiger Woods, all the old people somehow navigated the turn. Nobody else crashed.
No, people crash there all the time.
Hundreds and hundreds of people went down that road.
They have some bad roads. I'm going to say
that's a really bad road.
Dangerous roads out in Palos Verdes that are known.
And
but the other thing, real quick,
you guys are out of your minds.
I'm not saying he's right. I'm just saying there are some roads more dangerous than others.
He doesn't even know if there's a black box in the car.
I don't think there's a black box in it.
All cars have EDRs
all
these days.
All cars have them, bro.
The other thing I was going to say, I keep getting cut off, is that when people start to crash, they do all sorts of weird shit because people are never trained what to do if you go out of control. He might have just froze. Who knows?
Yeah, the professional golfer got the yips. He got the yips as he was going.
I've seen all.
Why are you such a Tiger Woods apologist, Johnny? This is so unexpected.
I don't really even know who Tiger Woods is. You know,
he was going to go off. Ferris said he got the yips. He didn't know whether to go left, right. He got the yips and he went.
Is Tiger paying you, Jonny Lieberman, right now?
I wish, Tiger. I'm here.
I gave you these talking points. Who were you talking to the phone right before we started recording?
If you give me money, I'll defend him on every podcast in LA. I need cash.
We're at 40 minutes. We got to get to listener questions. And again, I apologize if I don't get to your question or if your question is stupid. Rear view mirror cars. Is the 1971 Buick Riviera the greatest car ever made? Yes, it is. You're right about that. Okay.
I'll go with that.
That's cool.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Get a 455. You're cool, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is for the three of us. We'll start with Zuckerman. If each one of you could steal one of Jerry's cars from his collection, which would it be? This is so hard, Zuckerman.
This is one of the hardest, but oh boy, is this one of the hardest questions ever.
But we've made him promise that if he perishes, which he's like 96 now, so it's any day. That we've each picked a car that he would hand off to us.
Since I'm part of the show now, do I get one? Could you close me in there?
Sure. Nice. We'll take care of that. Well, go ahead, Zuckerman. Pick one. Top of the head. Fast.
550.
Oh, really?
I was going to say the 550.
Which one?
550. Yeah, right. Which one?
Jonny Lieberman.
He has two 550s?
I don't know. We can't talk about his collection, but I would guess he has more.
I was going to say the fucking 550 Spider, and that's the only car of his I know. Okay.
Yeah, listen, you can have it.
Oh God, I don't know his collection that well. I don't know.
Well, you've seen pictures of his stuff.
Yeah, okay. He had like an orange. He had an orange 911 with green lettering on it that I saw being restored once. That looked pretty nice. I don't know.
An insane question.
I was just going to say the 550.
What do you got, Ferrison?
Okay, I would immediately go the Steve McQueen's 917, the 9083. I would have said the IROC, but I'm not. There's a beautiful low mileage 356. The Chick Iverson 356 is one of the best drivers I've ever driven in my life. The 550s, of course, but they don't drive as well as some of these other cars. But I think I would go. And I hope it's not for financial reasons. I don't mean to be gluttonous, but the 917, because he and I found that car together, and that was a really fun moment in our life, and that would be fun. I'd never get to drive it, but that would be fun to have.
908 is pretty special.
I've driven it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I fit perfectly.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a really nice car.
I tried to squeeze into one once.
The Chick Iverson 356 is something special.
That's the sweetest car in the world. He bought that and a Carmen Ghia the same day. Both had no miles on it. They were sitting in the dealership, like 0 miles.
And they were painted that Volkswagen orangey Chick Iverson
beautiful,
color.
Beautiful cars.
I was just going to say, I just love 550. I was lucky enough, I did the Mille Mia a couple years ago, and I was in a Gullwing, and then it was, the Gullwings are the fastest cars in the race. But there was a 550 Spider that could kind of keep up with us on the straights, and it was just absolutely the coolest thing to follow that thing for like 100 miles across Italy. It was just breathtaking. So,
Joe Saf Coffee, what's the news with Malibu Country Mart Cars and Coffee? They're still hammering us. It's I meant to talk to you about Zuckerman. There's a discriminatory practice going on now with car people, where the police and security look over what you're driving and make a decision on whether they're going to let you in or not. Can we sue them?
You can't sue them, but it would definitely be. It's an arbitrary policy. It's not. No one's going to take your case, but they're acting in an arbitrary and capricious manner.
But just know that currently now the lot opens up at 10 o'clock, and Jay Leno meets us out there every Sunday around 10. And you're welcome to bring your cars there. Just don't make a lot of noise. And we have a bunch of cars now. It's a smaller, much more manageable little situation. But I will tell you, I get angry when I see the sheriffs writing up just guys in cars. Nice cars, collector cars who don't have front plates. And then these same cops, they come by and they come and chat with us.
Right.
And,
How you
it's
doing? How you
weird.
doing?
Yeah. And I would guess it's our friend Steve Soboroff who's doing that. And cheers for using your powers for evil, sir.
He is a Dr. Evil kind of a guy.
He's got to do what he's got to do. We got to do what we got to do.
I think I'm done with Malibu, though, because I've had 2 tickets since the pandemic started, both in Malibu.
Yeah, you get written up there a lot.
Well, yeah, one I didn't deserve. One
you got to get a coin, man.
Yeah.
You got to get the coin.
Yeah,
Gotta get the
I
coin.
know what I
People
gotta
to
do.
like you, Lieberman. People in the sheriff's department.
Well,
We can tell you don't have your ways open, and the radar spots are the same every time.
No, the one was I was going 65. I was going to meet you that day,
Right.
And the guy just
And you were
pulled me-
coming down the hill, right?
No. This I was on PCH going like probably 67. He wrote me up for 65. But I finally had to plead no contest because, like, he showed up.
Good for him.
The cops showed up.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
they
weird.
never show up.
What a horrible person.
Oh, this happened in April. He showed up like 2 weeks ago. So, anyways, I might be
Nothing
done
I
with
can
Malibu.
do.
Or I just drive a slow car.
It's everywhere, man.
No, it's not. I'm on Angeles Crest.
I get hit on the 101
twice
the other
a
day.
week, and they wave at you as you go by at 90.
Yeah.
How quick can I get to Angeles Crest from here?
What time of day?
Okay, tomorrow
It's not
morning.
so bad, Zuckerman.
Tomorrow morning is 7.
Oh, 45 minutes.
Ugh.
You'll wreck your car.
No, you won't.
Yes.
No. I'll be up there.
And then
very
Newcomb's
dangerous.
Ranch isn't even open, is it?
No, but Friday
No, we go
mornings
up
is
Friday.
great.
It's
a
good.
good
Yeah,
vibe
yeah.
breakfast club.
Good
time.
crew.
Yeah,
Where do you
Bring-
get breakfast?
Jay, I bring donuts. Me, Jay, my friend Sean, we all bring donuts.
Just,
Coffee. It's nice.
Just bring other people's cars, is my advice.
Yeah, I'm bringing a Lotus on Friday.
Because they get ruined. Don't bring anything
They
you
don't
like.
get ruined.
Just like he ruined your car. A lot of people wondering what you're doing in Texas. I think we covered that. Defender update. There's nothing. Land Rover is screwing me and enjoying it. I have to say, though, the more I'm reintegrating with life and going into parking garages, I am kind of grateful that I don't have that rack to stop me from parking, because I would be locked out of every parking garage.
Yeah.
But we're about to take a ski trip to Lake Tahoe, and I don't know, maybe that rack would be good, right? Submariner with or without a date window, says Dominic ATX. This is for all of us.
No date.
I like date. I got to say I like date. I never know what day it is, what time it is. So
I think you win either way, but you have to ask yourself, am I okay with that watch date being wrong when I don't feel like winding it from 8 to 28?
Right.
Right?
But that's
'Cause
not
there's
that
no
hard.
quick set.
I never get that argument. It's not that
And the
hard to
old
wind
ones.
a watch.
It is on the old ones. It's a pain in the ass.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
The new ones, it doesn't quite matter, but
Right.
I don't know. Do you ever use that date window anymore, or is that the iPhone? I never use it.
I use it.
And on the
Do you know what day it is today? Do you know what the date is?
I don't
Date?
know.
Yeah, you know the date today.
Let me look at my watch.
Oh.
According to this, it's the 20th.
Yeah, I could have told you that. I'm oriented.
Yeah, I have no idea. Come on, since the pandemic, I don't know anything. I think it's March, but it's the 20th. Says my watch.
Are you whistling?
Wow, I'm just reading some of these questions
My beautiful
and going,
Bremont watch. I'm a Bremont ambassador. I should plug this
why?
because I should plug it. I'm an ambassador. It's a great watch. Mono pusher chronograph. Look at this thing.
I don't even know what that means. What are you saying to me?
He's trying to get more free watches.
I got all the free watches I can handle.
Monoclonal
Mono pusher chronograph.
monoclonal virus.
You have start, stop, and reset with one
Yes.
button. It's great.
We saw your name spike on the Odd Drink Concours. What are you doing there? I don't know. I had Donald Osborne on the show. He invited me to be a judge, so I will be judging the competition. I have reached out to Porsche to see if they want to do something together. I've reached out to Zuckerman to see if he wants to go too. But it's up in the air. Maybe we'll just bring the three of us and have a good time.
I was going to go.
and just laugh.
I was going to go last time, but it got canceled. But yeah, we should go.
You're going to be there?
I think I'm going to be. I got invited by the guy who organizes it. Who's friends with Donald?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should go.
Well, now my friend Katie Waller, who used to run Pebble Beach and the Conqueror up there, and we used to do a little thing there, she's now running that whole deal. So, yeah, I don't know yet, but I have time, right? It's October.
It's
Don't I have
October.
time?
Yeah, you have a lot of time. Yeah.
And who knows what's going to happen between now and then. But I'm looking forward to it and connecting with you folks on the East Coast. I think that'll be really
Look
fun.
at you becoming a country club fellow.
Well, I know Swiggins and Peabody will be there, sir.
Talk about you swimming against the tide getting there, Ferris.
Who are some of those other names you sent? You send me the obituaries on Sundays, and there were so many funny.
Winston.
There was Winston. Hey, Winston died. Did you see old Winston?
I do
Parrish?
this thing every Sunday. I pick the most country club guys that have died, their pictures in the New York Times to send to Ferriston, and then the one or two Jewish people that really, really look like our people, Lieberman, as a counterpoint.
So you're talking about wasps. You're saying the wasps
versus
yeah.
Swiggins, did you hear Evelyn Seltzer died?
She's a Jewish one. That was your Jewish example. Show him the picture.
Seltzer's pretty good.
Oh, I'm sure she looks like a nice lady.
She looks like an Evelyn Seltzer.
She looks like all of my leather friends.
Picture, I can smell brisket through the phone.
She looks like every one of my mom's friends. That's my mom's mahjong group right there.
Swiggins, did you see Philip Winston Pillsbury Jr. died? There he is with his driving cap and his ascot.
And his nice teeth.
And his nice teeth.
Fine set of teeth.
He took his final capital gains.
Like a champ.
And again, I apologize if that was your grandpa. I'm sure he was a great guy. But
Never
boy,
took a shellacking in capital
Never
gains
once.
Never once.
Oh, the
lost.
Pillsbury's will be down, but don't count them out. We're still rolling in dough.
Oh, that was good. Oh, comedy writer, that was good.
Push me in my stomach.
Oh, that was very good.
That's what this show has become, making fun of rich people that have died.
Dead people. Yeah.
That's sad. Did you see your pal Seinfeld do a segment on the Tonight Show suspiciously called Close to Ass Zuckerman? I did, as a matter of fact, and I heard from him that he did it. And we discussed that, but I assure you, neither Jerry nor us or this show are the first to make fun of Dear Abby, which is from the 1950s. I would guess Steve Allen was the first. And by the way, nothing against Jerry. I think he's the funniest man in the world, but Zuckerman is funnier in that segment. And
that very small sliver.
Yes.
Of comedy.
Jerry, who's super funny, but he knows he's on TV, can't really say what he's thinking. He can't say the things that you're saying, Zuckerman. So you have that advantage over him. And I think Fallon will stop doing that bit because ours is so hugely, hugely popular.
Competing with Fallon now, yeah.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I don't think so.
I got to say, though, as much as I like the Ass Zuckerman, it's the insurance stories, which I think is
well, that's
unique.
only when we have our friends Policy
I'm just saying,
Genius.
that was the one.
That was a particularly good
That
one
was
for
the
Spike's
one.
Car Radio. Mozzarella. Fabrizio and the mozzarella truck.
That
My
did get a
thumb.
very good
Corpses
response.
equal Porsches.
There's a lot of questions, that, the same ones I have about electric and petrol and what's going to happen and, whatever.
It's all going to go electric.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Or
all these weird synthetic fuels. I had pulled this story that said
the Porsche?
that Audi is going to stop gas engine development, but BMW isn't. They think there's going to continue to be a market. Your comment.
So Porsche is working on a synthetic gasoline that they claim, it's this very weird metric, it has the same well-to-wheel carbon output as gasoline. And they're going to switch for the 2022 race season. All of their cars are going to run on synthetic gasoline that's not made from petroleum. It's made from something else. And I talked to both our friend Andy Preuninger, I can never pronounce his name, Preuninger, and I talked to Dr. Frank Walliser about it, and they're both keeping their cards close to the vest.
Really?
Yeah, they say, it's gonna
They've
come, it's gonna
revived
happen.
Hitler's synthetic fuel program.
That was like almonds or walnuts. That wasn't going well.
That has to do with Formula One racing and their possible re-entry into Formula One racing.
It might,
right?
but
because
I think
it has.
they said all their cars are going to run on it. So
Okay, what is it? But also it had to do with this synthetic fuel racing Formula One series that might be coming forward. BMW, I don't think was saying that. What they were saying is we're going to keep making these cars because there'll be a market for them around the world.
Sure, yeah, globally. There will still be a market until 2000.
Let me ask you this, because here's the information I couldn't.
But by the way, the synthetic fuel in F1 was the plot of Cars 2. I just want to point that out. If you remember Cars 2.
I don't.
All right,
well, thank you for that
joke fell
air.
flat. But the people out there listening that remember Cars 2.
Here's the question I have. Has there been any talk about state legislation that the vintage cars will not be allowed on the road? Has anybody even ventured out to a mic and said that?
Why would you say that? Why would you tank the value of our cars?
No, but
I'm not tanking them. I think people are worried. I've heard there are people that are worried that they won't be able to drive their old cars, and I don't think that's factually correct.
They won't be able to drive their old cars when gas is $50 a gallon, but aside from that...
Do you know how much spare gas they're going to have laying around in places?
It's going to be cheap.
It's going to be like a different kind of Mad Max world.
Yeah, except that like the distribution's going to... It'll get more expensive. I mean, the demand will go down.
We'll ask one of our very wealthy friends to get a big tank somewhere and have enough gas for all of us for the rest of our lives.
Yeah. I would. This is all like 2035... You'll see a lot of electrics. 2050, there won't be any more gasoline cars. But you'll still be able to run
I won't
them.
be alive.
It's not
fine.
an issue. Yeah.
Did you see any Pringer's? He had a Tangerine 992 GT3 on his Instagram today.
Yes, I saw that.
What the hell? What is he doing to us? Did you like it? Did you think it was beautiful?
The color's good.
That's a funny-looking car, right?
Yeah, it's not a great-looking car. The front end's not there.
But we'll end up liking it.
Yeah. What is this Chris Harris livery yellow one that I keep seeing on Instagram as well?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I wasn't sure why they were calling it. All right, Zuckerman, people are asking about, and I forgot you even own this car, the Ferrari Daytona that's up at Canopus. What is going on with that car? Is it still yours?
It's still mine. And Canopus, I don't know. You know, it's one of these things that he claims, Bruce Canepa claims, now he's rebuilding the engine. That the body is essentially done, that the engine needs to be done. And
that doesn't surprise me.
And at the rate it's going, it could well be another year or so. But you know what? I'm glad. One less car in the garage. And
one less problem.
And the Daytona, between the time I bought that thing and now, the Daytona market got shit. So the longer it takes, the market may find these things may arrive at the same time. The market and the car may arrive when Daytonas are popular again.
Somebody asked this question, Zuckerman, and it's kind of what we're talking about here. And forgive me because I can't find it in my list of questions here. But they said, "How long is too long for a renovation on a car?"
Oh, that's a great
and you
question.
have a Speedster that's going on 5 years at Wilhoit, right?
It'll be 4 in June, and
4
I
years.
think he'll be done.
And then the Daytona is what? So at what point do you think normal folks, maybe not you, because you have a lot to drive, how long is too long for a restoration? For me, over 2 years, forget about it. You got to get it done in a couple of years. If you can build a house in 2 years, you can get the goddamn car fixed. What about you guys?
Why don't you go, Johnny?
Well, I have my 914, and it's going slow. So... But, as Paul said, it is like tomorrow I'm supposed to finish cleaning out the garage. So if it was done, I could park it. But maybe I don't have to clean out the garage. So it's, I don't need the car.
Right. If your mindset was, I can't wait to have this thing, you'd go insane.
Yeah.
You have to put this at the furthest reaches of your mind. But interestingly, my good friend and partner in the Outlaw Archive, Bo Bush now, he's got a thing with lowriders. He's restored a lowrider in 2 months perfectly. I mean, these guys in the lowrider world, they're on top of that shit. They're not waiting around.
And you could, look, I know with my car, I could pay a lot of money to get it done quickly. It could happen. I'm not paying a lot of money for it. You know what I mean? So it's like when the guy has time, it'll get done. It's over a year. So it's only a 914. But I don't know. I think 2 years. 2 years is a good answer.
Sure. Would say Will Hoyt. He'll tell me, and I tend to believe John for the most part. But he says good metal workers are really hard to come by, and the good metal workers, they have a waiting list, and you got to wait for your car to slot in. And you could be waiting for your car to slot in, and then a bigger, better customer may come along and push you out of the way.
Right.
But that's really for him. For the Speedster, it was the metalwork guy that I think was the longest component of this.
It's the other MCD, and he wants to know when it goes too long, what do you do? It's always threatening phone calls. I mean,
does that do anything?
Here's what I do, and you can't do it, but maybe you can. I always say, I have an event coming up, and here's the date, and it has to be done, and this is going to be good publicity for you, and it's going to be good for me.
That helps.
And it does get it done. Something will be delivered to you. It may not be finished, but it gets done.
The subsidiary issue that he's asking you about is, like, for example, with Will Horta-Canepa, I know no matter how long it's taking, it's going to get done.
Right.
Other guys who are telling you that it's getting done might not be getting it done. They might have taken your goddamn money, and they might never have the intention to get anything done, or the only way it's going to get done is when the next sucker comes along and puts a big down payment on his car, because your down payment got spent on some other guy's car.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, oh, boy.
Yeah.
So let's just say 2 years.
Yeah, and go to the right guy.
Yeah, and then start with the threats. But I had a car. I mean, my old Series 2A, I gave to a mechanic in Hollywood, and I gave him tons of time. And then I started just showing up down there, and I saw his guys doing everything but working, watching soccer, bunch of British guys. Soccer, excuses, the boss wasn't there. You remember this, Zuckerman?
Yep.
I yanked it out, brought it to Pete in Venice. He did all the work in 2 or 3 days. So, you just have
30
to...
packs of cigs later.
Yeah, those guys were lying to me about doing work and getting stuff done. The truth was they were hitting dead ends and they didn't know what to do, and they just kept punting and kicking it down the road. So get involved, man. All right, we got to go. Hold on. Which state license plate do you hate seeing the most?
I don't know. I never thought about that.
Arizona.
It's funny, though, because you do get mad when you see a state plate that's far away from California and they're doing something wrong. It's usually Florida that upsets me.
Washington. The slowest drivers in the fucking world come from Washington.
Yeah, they're making bad turns and
I
stuff.
went to Big Bear a couple days ago, and there was a Washington car, and they get bad weather and
They should
water.
know.
And this guy, it was a 50. I think it's a 50 or a 55 on the way up to Big Bear for one stretch. He was doing like 27, and he was in a car that could have gone the speed limit, no problem. And it was a Washington plate, so that was upsetting.
All right,
I actually like seeing Hawaiian plates.
Hawaiian plates are great.
Those are cool.
Yeah, but
right.
you
New
see them,
Mexico.
you say, and I like seeing Alaska, like places that are hard to get from to here.
I will like a New York plate, a Pennsylvania plate, Massachusetts for sure.
No,
because they're Red Sox fans
assholes.
in there.
They're
Love it.
ugly looking
My
plates,
people.
too.
I'll even deal a Vermont plate, a New Hampshire plate. Any of my New England folks are cool with me. It's these other weirdo states, Idaho states. That can go both ways. There are a lot of people I like that live in Idaho, and there are a lot of people I hate that live in Idaho.
But what about when you see like a Ford GT with the classic Montana plate, and
I know what he's doing.
That car is never, ever, ever, ever going to Montana.
He's just saving some money.
I know. How do we feel?
I mean,
how do we feel?
I will also say to you, sometimes it's impossible to register a car in the state of California. One must take up residence in Montana.
Do you think the government should be entitled to all that money all the time?
I mean, if I'm paying it, yes.
I might say into the microphone I do, but I'm not sure I do.
Yeah, no,
I like
look,
that they're getting away with that.
Yeah,
I mean, sometimes
I don't mind it.
Don't
I
you
don't
think
mind
there
it.
should be a flat rate for some of this stuff? I mean, if you're going to buy a really
We get
expensive car.
hosed in California.
Yeah, California
Get
more
hosed a
expensive
little
here,
bit.
But look at the view.
Hosed.
Have you seen the view in Idaho? It ain't this.
Yeah.
Wow, Quarter Lane is beautiful.
It ain't
Have you-
this. Are you
great.
looking?
Yeah,
I mean, come on. You do pay.
This Quarter Lane doesn't have M80s going off and gunshots.
That's right. Well, they do have gunshots.
Yes, they do. That's
yeah.
true. Last question. And this
Last
is a young
question.
man named Daniel Doge. I'm 18, and I just found out I'll be going to Art Center College of Design in Pasadena this fall. Congratulations,
Hey, right by
Daniel.
my house.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I've been a New Yorker all my life. How does life in L.A. compare?
Where do we start?
Boy, there's so many stand-up routines that address this, sir, that you should start just Googling Bill Burr straight on down. I'm worried I'll just want to punch everyone because they're too annoying and stupid.
Yeah.
Just try to get laid. Okay?
Yeah,
Just
you're
spend your
18.
time.
First of all, what part of New York is he from? Because I could
Long
point to
Island,
I
aggro.
could point to some stupid motherfuckers I met in New York. You know. So
I'm trying to remember Now, I lived in New York for 10 years, and when I came out to L.A., it was wonderful.
Oh,
there was
the greatest.
space.
Yeah.
You could have a car, you could have a dog, and nothing happened to your car when you left it on the street, generally.
Yeah.
When you leave things on the street in New York every night, they just disappear and they get destroyed and you're bumping into people. If you like the great outdoors, if you like to drive, if you don't mind a little bit of traffic and much safer traffic than your traffic in New York, because I've driven in Long Island.
By the way, New Yorkers cannot complain about traffic.
Yes,
I remember
please.
driving. I had to drive from like Williamsburg across Manhattan to get to Newark. Don't ask. Oh my fucking God! Like,
yes,
you know,
and by the
worse
way,
than anything.
Young Daniel Doge. I don't know what you like, but we have the best looking people out here, my friend.
Men or women.
Men or women, whatever you're into, whatever you want.
His initials are DD. You'll see plenty of those, Daniel.
What does DD mean?
Double D.
Double D's, Daniel
You're
Doge.
gonna see a lot of those.
You'll see a lot of those.
That's what you're going to see.
Both
Come in with a good attitude and a couple of dollars in your
Listen
pocket.
to you, Zuckerman, turn a kid's name, a teenager's name, into some sexual
nobody
weirdness.
said that to him.
Yeah,
you,
but
are
you-
you
To
saying he went to
Daniel
high
Doge?
school?
No.
He went to high school in New York and
Double
nobody
D.
made fun of his name.
Yeah,
Did they
he's
make fun
double
of your
D.
name?
Yeah, they said, Mike, ride a bike, ride it down the toilet pipe.
Right.
And I just went, what?
Right.
Bike and pipe doesn't rhyme.
Exactly,
And that's
but-
when the punching started.
But anyways, before or after you got your girl bodyguard?
What's that?
Remember you had the girl
It was
body-
right around the same time, actually. It was before I got the girl bodyguard. Yeah.
What was her name?
Huh?
They were
Judy Flaherty. She's all right in my book. Laurie Savage and Judy Flaherty, they were okay.
They took care of you.
I paid them, and they took care of me. I paid for protection.
We got
Look at Lieberman.
I'm just want to go back to like the double D's.
Yeah, Daniel Doge,
we have
Double D.
OEM
There you go.
and aftermarket, plenty of them.
Yes.
Well, there's the show. Do we have to say anything else? Does anybody have anything else to say? I feel like we've said a lot. We've talked about stories. We've answered your questions. Thank you for those. And
we had good dinner.
We had a nice dinner.
Another big shout out to Los Anayas on Adams and West Boulevard.
we don't have ads today, so you can go ahead, plug away.
I'm also going to plug, and I'm going to plug Alta on Adams in between La Brea and Fairfax. Southern food, amazing.
Wow. Okay.
2 plugs
Johnny
for West
Lieberman?
Adams.
I got nothing.
What about your cigars?
Tatuaje.
Smoking a tatuaje because I love smoking tatuajes.
People ask these questions. They want to
Oh,
know.
it's delicious. I'm smoking.
They are great. I'm smoking them now because of you.
I'm smoking the Mexican Experiment 2. So it's a San Andreas Mexican wrapper with Nicaraguan filler. Absolutely delicious.
I've got my Bolivar, which I love,
You
and
probably
my
have the better.
easy, naturally simple ginger soda.
Oh yeah, I had a case of that from that guy. It was so good.
Josh.
Yeah.
I had coffee with him today.
Oh, tell him I need another case.
The guy who works for Josh,
Yeah.
he brought a couple cases in. They've been selling this stuff out like crazy. Really interesting guy. He starts beverage companies and then sells them, and he told me about the whole world of easy ginger soda today, and I have to say I was quite impressed.
What's the calorie content?
I was gonna say I gained 10 pounds with that one case.
45 calories.
Per-
That's not
is
bad.
it one serving or
One
2?
serving, Zuckerman.
Okay.
That, do you see? And
That's honest.
what the ginger does while you're smoking the cigar is it keeps your stomach from getting upset because the cigar is killing you, and the easy ginger soda
revives
brings you
you.
back.
Well, that's an old trick. If you ever
Don't
get
stop smoking.
Just
Drink
have
some ginger
ginger.
soda.
But that's an old trick. If you ever get nauseous while you're smoking a cigar, just like a little packet of sugar, eat some, and it
Well, it's the
cures you
ginger
right
that
up.
helps, and that if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I'm always drinking the Australian ginger ale.
I think
and the easy
it's the
ginger
sugar.
soda.
I think
That's
it's
a
the
hand,
sugar.
that's a
It's
a
the
handy
ginger.
tip.
It's a sugar.
No.
Try lemonade.
Oh
Same thing.
my! You're off on that one. It's
I
ginger,
never
man.
heard
Sugar,
that.
sugar.
I heard if you're too high on acid or coke, have a glass of milk, but I never heard
What?
have a ginger
Glass of milk on acid?
Oh yeah, take cuts
Now
the-
it's time.
cuts the
Put
fucking
Zuckerman's
high.
health
Oh,
tips.
I'm having a flashback. That's
If
fucking
you're too
horrible.
high on coke and meth, just drink a glass of milk, and you'll feel better. I'm Zuckerman.
I'm just going to tell you, acid's great for about 10 minutes. It's the other hour and 50. 8 hours and 50.
It's the 12 hours of
8 hours
like,
and 50
I'm
minutes.
mean to my parents and the wall's eating me. Fuck.
We've got to shake the Zuckerman Etch-a-Sketch and reset him. He's off his rocker on Saturday nights. Good Lord.
True. The milk is 100% true. They do it at the emergency room.
What? Why? For the sugar?
There's something in the milk
Lactose.
that cuts
Sugar.
the high of either your cocaine high or your acid high.
Well, there you
Bring
go.
You down.
Well,
There's something in the milk, ladies
So,
and
you know,
gentlemen.
have for your cigars, have your ginger. For your
Yes.
LSD, have your milk.
Boy,
Handy.
Yes.
cigars and milk sounds disgusting.
Yes.
Sounds like a big
and
bad
2 plugs.
shit.
Hey, you want to support Spike's Car Radio? Go to blipshift.com right now. Go to blipshift.com/Spike and buy our new SCRS shirt, the Spike's Car Radio shirt, SCRS. It's a secret handshake, no logo on the back. And April 1st, for the kids, the Spike First and Coloring Book by Fireball
Gotta get
is coming out. They're going to be $10. You go to Etsy, and they're signed, I think, for $25. And that's turning out to be a cool project for your kids to color with. That'll be April 1st for sale, and then after that, I promise I will not sell you any other stuff. We will see you next week on Spike's Car Radio.
Hallelujah.
Thanks for listening to Spike's Car Radio, brought to you by Hangar 56. Listen to new episodes every Wednesday, and be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.